Look at this. When he had opened the third seal, come and see. A black horse, a pair of balances in his hand. You remember the Bible talks about a just weight and balance? What it means by that, like if you went to buy a commodity back in the days of old and the days during Jesus and before that, they would weigh out your commodity. Like if you wanted to get lamb chops, let's say, and you wanted X amount of pounds of lamb chops, they still do that in a local grocery store. Don't they put it on the scale, weigh it, and based on that $4.99 a pound, this 5 pounds of lamb chop costs about $25 or whatever. A just weight and a balance. It's all about economic transactions, buying and selling. That's why he talks about the balance. An unjust weight or balance was they tilted the scale. In other words, they would counterbalance the scale whereby it would look like you got more commodity than you received for your money. Let's say if a scale was already altered so that it showed a few ounces more than what was really there, you could actually be stealing from a person and they never know it. Because you thought you received 25 pounds or whatever you bought, when in fact they had already cranked in maybe 10 ounces, a pound. So I just took $5 from you because, okay, you ordered 5 pounds and I cranked in a pound. So the scale showed 5 pounds, but in actuality it was 4 pounds. But I charged you for 5 pounds. I just stole $5. That's done all day. Usury and interest. You trust that the supermarket scales are right. What makes you believe the supermarket scales are right? You know what does that? What makes you believe the supermarket scales are right? Huh? You're gullible. You believe what they tell you. You look at the news. You believe it. I'm not you personally, I mean the human race. Whatever comes in the newspaper, you'll go and tell somebody else it's factual. You know what I heard, you know now that, how do you know? I read it in the newspaper. I read it in People, Newsweek, the Time magazine, whatever. Why would you believe this junk that they're telling you? Society is gullible. They believe what they're told. The herd is controlled by what they're told. That's why when you get saved and God begins to extract you from the world, you don't move according to what they say and what they do because you know what about them? They're liars. How do you know they're liars? Their daddy's one. The devil is your father. The works of your father you will do. He was a liar from the beginning and abode not in the truth. Anyone that loveth and maketh a lie is his child. These jokers lie all day. We're doing a bailout for the economy's sake. You know the bailout money given to Wall Street was enough money to pay off every mortgage in the United States. Why not just pay off the mortgages? The bank gets their money back from the mortgage. They lost nothing. Reset to zero and everybody's free. That's the catch. What don't we want? We don't want you to be free. We want you to do what? Need me. Need us. Be bound to us. That's what the whole thing is about. Not to let you go free. Too big to fail. Too big to fail. The same joker yelling too big to fail is the same one telling you I believe in free enterprise. I believe in capitalism. Well, capitalism says they got to fail. If they couldn't stay in business, that's none of my business. But they take money from you through your taxes to pay off a private industry and nobody flinches. Well, hold it. I got a private industry over here. I don't want to fail either. What makes them special? Insiders. These boys are sitting around the round table and they got control of the money. The same jokers that control the Federal Reserve belong to these same board of directors and the same stuff. and we don't want our stuff to fail, and we'll take the taxpayers' money to pay us off so we won't fail, and you can starve to death for all I care. God is coming to judge all that. Who do they rape and pillage and rob from? The poor. You know, they are upset if the poor man advances in any way, shape, form, or fashion. No, we're here for the elite and the rich folk. Let the poor fend for themselves. Now, when we're tired of dealing with the poor, we go into the inner city, and you see them raking down all the housing projects and flushing out the poor. Don't y'all care where they're going? I could care less. Give them a voucher and let them go wherever they got to go. I tell you where they can go, and it begins with the letter H. That's how they feel. And God is always a warlord on behalf of the poor, the widows and the orphans. He'll always come and fight for the disenfranchised. That's who Jesus Christ rules over. The outcast, the poor, the downcast, the lonely, those who have nothing, that's who he stands up for. He's the representative of the poor and downcast and the outcast. You want to side with somebody? Side with the poor. Take care of the poor. Feed the poor. Clothe the poor. Open up your home and your life to the poor and those who can't fend for themselves. And watch how God will stand up with you, because he always fights on the side of the disenfranchised, the outsider, because he knows what? This place is evil. Why do they hate the poor? You can't do anything for me. You can't bring anything to the table to make me rich and richer. You got $100 billion. What do you want? I just want one more dollar. I got $100 billion. I want $100 billion, $100 billion plus $1. I want your 50 cents out your pocket. There'll be someone arguing with somebody about something that costs $2 and they got $100 billion. You made a mistake on this ticket here. I think I've been overcharged. How much? 75 cents. How much you worth? $300 billion. But I don't believe in giving nothing away. You go and check this again. Man, what? 75 cents? Yeah, that's how I got to be rich. I check every nickel, every dime. These jokers are crazy. They're crazy. Now, so that's the black horse. The last horse, a pale horse. Who is that riding on it? Thanatos, death. And hell. What's coming up out of hell? I believe out of that bottomless pit comes death. Thanatos. Apollyon, better known as Apollo, the leader of the kingdom of death, the leader of the entourage from hell. Somebody's been locked up in hell that's coming up out of hell. Who are these individuals? Maybe the chained fallen angels. The ones he chained up in under the earth for rebellion. If those jokers come back, you're bringing back the very essence of those that sired all of this mess that happened and created the demons. What if the parents of the demons come back? Don't you know what inspiration they'll get? My daddy is home. The one that sired me is come up out of hell. And all the demons just happy. The Nephilim, the disembodied spirits. My daddy, he just running to him and hugging him. Dad. A fallen angel. Death and hell come up. Going forth with power over a fourth of the earth to kill with the sword and hunger, death and beasts of the earth. Man, I believe you're going to see some things coming back down here. Already those that believe in ETs are talking about we need to have total revelation of the ET experience. They keep hampering and harping about disclosure. I think disclosure is coming. What's disclosure to them? They're going to tell us about the extraterrestrial visitations that have been and what the governments have been hiding. I think the world's preparing for the return of the fallen ones. I think these jokers are coming back. And they're coming back mad and killing, led by a ruling king. And this is the pale horse. Now, white horse antichrist, red horse wars, black horse economic distress, and hyperinflation. You know, we're gonna deal with inflation here shortly because they're printing up so much money. What does he say? You can see that here's inflation right here. A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt now the oil and the wine. What's he saying? The loaf of bread was $1. Now it costs $3. You know something has got to give. Think about this. No cost of living allowance or increase for you, but the commodities go up in price. What do they just do? They just what? Cut your pay. They just cut your pay. Well, I guess that means no vacation this year. No extracurricular activities. No new shoes for Johnny. Because we got to get some bread. We got to eat. You know what happens to people under economic distress? Whatever is most significant, you turn your money toward that and let everything else go. That's why they're leaving keys on the counter in the kitchen and leaving the house standing there. We can't afford to pay the mortgage. What's doing that? Goods and services go up. The main one they've been fooling around with to take money from you is what? Gas. You got to have gas because you got to get to work to make the money to pay your bills. We can control where your money goes now. Just raise one commodity up that you need. Want to control you? Raise the price of food because you got to eat. That's why God's trying to teach you to fast. You better get used to fasting down here. Because, hey, if the food gets thin and your appetite is running out of control, you'll sell your soul for a bowl of pottage. Didn't he do it? I need a bowl of stew, man. I'll sell my birthright for that. He's trying to tell us something through that whole scenario. You'll sell your soul for food if you're bound to it. Your God is your belly. Your glory is in your shame. You mind earthly things, he said. Your God is your belly. You got to begin to deny your belly right now. I bet you one thing, you deny your belly, you watch it go down. Why is my belly so big? Have you denied it? Oh no, what you don't deny gets bigger. Have 2 puppies. Feed one and starve another one. Watch how one puppy will get bigger and the other one will die. I saw a guy had his whole belly lapped over his belt with a crease up the middle of it. His belly looked like his butt. He put his tight shirt on. I didn't know if the guy was coming or going. Walking toward me or walking away, all the thing that gave him away was his face. If his face was looking, if he turned his head around, you would think you'd be looking at the front of him, the way he was made. He had so much hanging out from over his belt that you didn't know if his belly was his butt or his butt was his belly. You don't know if he's coming or going. From eating out of control, where food dominates you. Jesus said it this way, you will be overcome with surfeiting. Overeating will do you in. Now you got the church, folks that don't get bound by drugs. I'm not bound by alcohol. Oh no, I've been delivered from everything. And standing there 350 pounds singing in the choir, thinking you delivered. Hey look, I gave up cigarettes, yeah, but you start eating instead. I gave up everything for the Lord, but food.